It's going to be Clubhouse, and this ban phase could really impact the game. When we get to Defense Whip, we saw Fenrir banned in the second map. On a map like Club, where there's a lot of opportunities for teams to get in and plant early, I think that Fenrir could have a huge impact. So he would be on the chopping block for me if I was G2 or M80.
Yeah, I agree with this. I've seen Clubhouse be really decided by what those Fenrir few mines can do. A Maverick Dokkaebi ban to start us off, and I'm not too surprised M80 want to remove that Dokkaebi. Doki was on it considerably during that previous map. He was making very good use of that one. It's going to be a Kaid band away. Again, this is going to be, where is this impact opera going to be? Is it going to be Solace, Azami, Valkyrie, or Fenrir? It's one of the four. And I'm going to say it's going to be likely a Fenrir. That's what I would have banned in this situation, but I'm always welcome to be proven wrong.
Ooh, okay.
And I am. It's a bandit. Now, not common, but you know what that means? These breaches, they're free.
Mm-hmm. Put it this way, you bring a mute to try to keep the main breach open on CCTV cache, you just plant the thermite up high on the wall. There's no way now that you can keep these walls closed. It's not going to happen, and that changes so much. It also means that every single other high-impact defensive operator is available. You're looking at your Miras, you're looking at your Fenrirs, your Valks. All of them can now be used. Solace, another one I didn't even mention, that mix can be taken out. But what does that mean? To me, that means that this map is going to be fireworks. This is going to be so high tempo and so aggressive because there is no way teams can stop the attacking side from getting the breaches.
The thing that just resonates with me a lot in this position is, of course, going to be how that Fenrir is going to affect it. If you get a breach open, take upstairs, right, in game. If you're defending Master Bedroom in game, or Master Bedroom Gym, sorry. If you get Jacuzzi Breach open and there's a Fenrir above it, guess what? You can't walk in if a player's inside of long or short, can swing you while you're stunned and blinded. If they're inside a bathroom, you're vulnerable to that. That means, yes, you get the breach, but having a Fenrir brings a whole new level to that aspect of, yeah, we can walk in, but now we have to risk that. So I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing an extra step, an extra stage of droning brought out once the breach is open to see if they're active for number one and where those mines are.
Well, but look at the site. If you put one of those FNATs below the kitchen hatch, the players, and if you try to go for that default plant on the drop, the players in kitchen can't hold the cover. They can't. They won't be able to see. So it completely denies that plant as well. So it takes a lot of options away. Now, you look at the way that M80 are trying to defend. They've got Spoit playing by Adam, and then they've set up the Mira by Generator. So you've got one looking towards Pit, one looking in towards Church as well, which gives you a very good idea of how well Spoit or whoever plays there can hold that one down. Of course, G2 not going to take any risks, though. They're going to do their due diligence. They're going to clear this map from top to bottom. And again, it's the right thing to do. Even if M80 have zero pressure on the top floor, you still got to clear it because you don't know.
That's the problem. If you just don't know, it's always safer to check. But you have to be, I think, fair with your time. You can't waste all that time. The Alamau is going to open that door up, and that's going to indicate to everyone on M80, right, we've just heard Ying's LMG. Let's prepare for it. To Ying execution, that's what's going to be on the menu. Kitchen dirt, that's probably what they're going to try and cook up. And you mentioned those Fenrir mines as FNATs. If they're active below that hatch, it can be a problem. But a contingency plan of blue hatch opened up now, giving you two options as well as Moto. You have so much breach potential. Why not open up everything?
Yeah, so you use the first two pellets to get it half open, then you'll use the rest of your pellets to complete the job. Just want to reduce the impact that impact tricking can have below, of course, as Ami did have to in the back pocket. So a minute gone, you've got a third of the round to play with, you've got the breach open, you've now got dirt open, which forces the player who's playing in that position further back, and then there's the job made a little bit easier as Doki finds the first kill with a nade. And now he's going to try push down through main stairs. Again, there'll be nobody playing by motorbike because they're holding it from the generator side. Virtue gets one. Iconic gets another. There's the Candelas to cause some chaos and confusion on the site. Virtue does get traded back, and there's Diaz and Iconic making it a 3 versus 2. It's all gone the wrong way here, but Alamau brings it back once more. There are lots of utility being tossed this way. Those impacts taking him down low, but Doki gets one. It's a 2 versus 1. Alamau is trying to hold Diaz in position, but they've got him traded inside of dirt, but there goes the kiss. And now Diaz is backed in the dirt, and G2 have to hunt. They too. Doki wins the round.
Alamar was so insistent that that was going to be peak from AK that Diaz was able to creep around within cover and get towards Dirt Tunnel. Doki quick enough on the draw that nearly found an instant trade, but as that retreat came out from the M80 defender, Doki got that lockdown. 2 huge high-impact nade kills from the Scottish player of Doki, and that gets G2 the opening round here on Club. Can they keep this momentum rolling? They've not seen M80 on this map too often, as CC and Cash is the second site of choice. And I'll raise an eyebrow, Gibby, to this one. I personally feel this is one of the weakest sites on this map. And how will M80 decide to play it? Well, I think an extensive hold inside of Lounge to be on the menu for this one to give themselves a little bit extra of that safety net.
Well, you know that the breach is going to be free for Gemini. There's nothing to stop him from getting it open. You look at the setup that's being taken by M80, they didn't even bring a mute. So what's the plan? Well, Gomez is a big part of that puzzle. They've reinforced that side of the wall by the window so that he's safe when the breach gets opened, and he's going to use those Kiba barriers to lock down the top of rafters. Now, the good thing is there's footholds placed below so that if he needs help or if Garage is coming under a lot of pressure, he can get somebody else from M80 to push down the map, go through bar, and give him help at that section of the map. But again, in my opinion, which is not an expert one, by the way, this round really lies down to how much time that M80 are able to stop and Garage with Gomez.
Are you saying you're not an expert, Gibby?
No, far from it. I'm a 0.3 KD copper 4.
It went down. It went down.
It has. It's been tough.
Oh, you were a 0.4 last time we stacked. What happened, man? Solo queue again?
A queued with you.
Oi! Right, we win. We win when I'm in this stack. Engineering finds one player through that CC window. Nothing quite presents itself. He's on the ace. Normally, it's a bit unusual, you know? You bench on a support-based offer, but we all know ace really isn't that support. AK-12 is so good. His Spoit peeks out second, and Alamau Spray finds him. He gets shut down. Alamau not happy with the comment previously saying Spoit's the best in the world, decides to take it on his own. His Virtue gets iconic shut down below. Knock bounces perfectly as Benj is next to fall as Kino's shotgun blasts him to the next dimension.
Diaz tried to get aggressive inside of Workshop as well, but with that clone coming through, it means that he'll have to step on back and forfeit that side of the map again. Now, G2, realizing at the fact that a lot of pressure was being put on Garage, they're going to push the other side. That's as free a kill as Virtue's ever going to get, as he makes it now a 4 versus 2. Kino on red, Diaz playing by the monitors. He jumps out to look towards. He's going to take a lot of damage. He goes down. Gemini and Alamau combine. And just like that, G2 rocket into a 2-0 lead. And I'm sorry, but this is looking really good for G2. If you're an M80 fan, G2 have come out of this one. They've been shot out of a cannon in map 3, and M80 have to stop this momentum quick.
Yeah, the G2 look to be in complete and utter control in these rounds. Now, the opening round was a little bit sketchy, right? It came down to a 1v1, but I think it was a still dominant round performance from G2. That round right there, that's an exclamation point. My oh my. And Virtue, a key part of that, just lurking with the Nook, able to pounce and cause chaos. Iconic thought maybe there's a huge play with the Solace down below. Nope, there's a Nook. And that was a huge pick from G2. And they just won the gunfights. Alamau on the Spoit inside of Master Bedroom went all wrong. And G2, gonna take those freebies all day. And they get themselves their second round here on Club.
10 seconds left.
The thing is that we cannot forget, though, is the bans in particular have really made this attack in favored. Like, when you get rid of the Kaid and you get rid of the bandits, you've really made this an attacker favored map because everything is free. The hardest thing, one of the things that teams have on their checklist every round is get the walls open and then give yourself an opportunity to make plays. Well, it's free. So G2, they rocket into a 2-0 lead, but again, M80 will still have a chance to have their say on attack. But ideally, you want to get at least 2-3 rounds of your M80 from this position now if you want any chance going into your attack. Because G2, you give them momentum. As I said, you give them an inch, they take a mile.
This is with the site, I mean, I'm very curious actually what Iconic's doing so far away on that Fenrir. Not using all of mines, so 2 of them still in pocket, only 2 codes deployed. So there's only 2 active fear mines across the map. He's so far away, if you're pounced on by anyone, all of a sudden a huge portion of utility is lost, and I think a wise choice, Iconic will fall back to site and now gets to play Fenrir like a conductor of the defense, able to mold where is safe, where the offense can push from, gathering information from the safety of the site. His mind's activatable for any range. He could have had them on Jacuzzi if he wanted and played them down below, but he'll still have that availability as this round plays on.
But the best ability in any round, though, Whip, is availability, and keeping players up and alive coming into that last 20-30 seconds usually leads to success. So, again, we're going down to basement. Keno's getting a bit more aggressive this time. Decided to leave that dirt soft, of course, because it's not basement they're defending, but it did give him the opportunity to maybe try look for some peeks on players pushing up through kitchen, pushing on the other side. But G2 are just perfectly going through their steps and their checkpoint again.
G2 are really uncontested in this one. There's not really a problem. Now, it's going to be a basement site, so you've got to bunker up more intrinsically. But again, there's nothing stopping G2 achieving what they want. They've got a minute left, and they've already got every key stake check established. They're going to start putting pressure down main stairs, and there's no one there, I believe, to impact Trick. So the Havana opens up kitchen hatch for free. 4 bodies of M80 stacked up in close proximity, 1 holding inside of dirt alone. Keno decides to retreat, regroup with his team, and I have a feeling with all 10 players remaining, we're going to get an absolute brawl when G2 decide to pull that trigger and go for the hit on site.
Yeah, Doki is going to hold the long angle. There's the Candelas. He gets himself one. It forces players to push from Generator. Now he moves once more. More Candelas being thrown through. The Kiba barrier actually coming in with a little bit of a help for G2, but the case is going down. Benji gets one cover from above. Gomez does trade one back, but it's 3 versus 1. It's all down to Gomez. He finds one. Gets himself reloaded on the MPX, but the case is going to go down from Gemini. Virtue holds the cross. Gemini gets the kill. G2 3-0 in the lead once more. And honestly, that Kiba barrier preventing them to push through dirt did so many favors for Ying, who was just able to toss those Candelas for free underneath it without risking life or limb. And that was a huge part of enabling G2 to drop that hatch and try to get the case down.
I'm going to say something here, Gibby. I want to preface this. I love Amity. I love all the players, and I love their style and philosophy. However, there are levels to this. G2 are your world champions for a reason. Fabian has lifted 3 hammers. This roster lifted their first just in February, and that execution was a perfectly well-oiled take. And that is why this is an uphill battle. G2 on the offense here in Club look unstoppable. Yes, the bans favor the offense, but you need something from M80, and you need to look towards those star players. We need Diaz, Gomez. I mean, they're all star players, but you need someone like Iconic Spoit to show up now.
So remember we spoke about looking at players and looking at body language, right? You can tell that M80 are under pressure right now. Something that a few of the players did that I don't know if anyone else picked up on. They wiped the palms of their hands. They've got, they're starting to feel the pressure just a little bit on this one as G2 are turning up the temperature. Again, I want to point out that this is attacker favor right now with the bans that are in place, so it's not a case of this is looking like a lost cause for M80. But if you get yourself in a 4-2 split the wrong way, or G2 even take 5 or 6 maps on attack, there's no way that they don't find some solution in a round to win one. Fabian is a good coach. He was an incredible player. He will be able to calm them down and give them the opportunity to win at least one round.
Good coach.
Great. Yeah, he's a great coach. Look, am I going to get flamed for saying that the same way you got flamed for saying that Spoit's the best in the world?
I mean, maybe. I mean, I'm going to call you out for it because I think good is a little bit of a downsell of what Fabian can do.
I love him. I love him. He's so good.
I agree. I think, you know what, a fair statement, a GOAT status for Fabian in their game. And the thermite charge goes off on CC screens. Like, again, there's nothing to deny that wall. There's no point putting a mute camera on because it's still a free breach. So everything should get opened up from G2. And you gotta feel it was M80 that banned the way that banned it. That could have made things a little bit more difficult if you left that operator in play. Now you're very vulnerable to basically a deconstruction from G2. Iconic down in the basement is going to be beginning to feel a little bit worried as the verts opened up above him, knowing that while the game is up, G2 know exactly what he's planning, and Sport upstairs can't find any pressure as well. Very spread out position from M80, begin the fall back.
They got to start doing what they did well in the first two maps, and that was isolating G2 players and picking up their ones. Now, Benja is going to get in the gunfight, but Iconic misses his shots. He tries the impact because he knows he tagged him, but Benja still HP looking really good, and Iconic is going to have to flee the scene, and that could have been huge for M80, but it's a big opportunity missed.
Oh, you gotta be punished for that one. But again, this is a game of chess now. Again, what we've seen from M80 is they slowed this game way down. It was a very aggressive, fast-paced play, and now they're beginning to present more problems for G2. See Gemini back up on that breach in the clear. It's going to be a perfect clear. Gomez running out of space, and Alamao is going to be find him. A great use of Capital, but Spike gets one back on the Virtue. A needed trade back, but Rafters in control of G2. They've got that main breach. Everything in play to begin to break this down and get that execution rolling.
Yeah, so now Alama will play by Rafters. He's looking to get that little bit of soft wall opened, and he's kind of given a little bit of a ping, and he gets rid of the camera as well. So that information denied for M80. They've got the main breach, they've got garage control. Well, Iconic could potentially push up now and catch him out. I was hoping he might go for a pit, but instead he'll get a freebie on the Doki as he pushes up through Adam, and that could put a bit of a spanner in the works. Now he's playing below, and because you've got him below, you can't plant the fault. Diaz is going to get a kill on the Gemini. He's going to Almost by the bomb chassis. He's still trying to find that next kill. So they're looking for another one. Benja gets one, but there's the shot coming through from Kino. He gets his one. Kino gets another one, and M80 finally win a round on attack, and that could be exactly what the doctor prescribed.
It was scrappy, it was messy, but they needed a round there and then. A timeout helped probably calm the nerves just a little bit, and M80 a very critical round back. Now, G2 still 2 rounds clear. They've been so dominant on the offense. I mean, not a very happy look from Fabian in that one.
No, but it's exactly what M80 needed to do. It was, they realized early that they're not going to be able to hold most of that map from the site itself because of the fact that you don't have the Cade, you don't have the Bandits. So instead, they played externally, or they played in the rooms around the site instead. And they were able to do it perfectly. Iconic missed a big opportunity to get a kill on the Benja earlier, but he kept his head, he kept his composure. He rotated back around, got a freebie on the Doki. And once you get rid of Doki and you've got Solace playing below, it gets rid of nearly every single planting option that G2 have on site. And that then meant that they had to go hunting to try to get the kills on the players that were inside of construction. Really well played defensively from M80, and that's what they need to do in these next 2 rounds. As I said, if they can get 2 or 3 rounds on defense, I think they'll be okay.
I agree. I'm in my head now. I'm thinking about how M80 are going to deal with this one. G2's executions on this basement have been pretty clinical every single time, and that's where I'm going to look at. Maybe they might want to induce a bit more of a roam game into this one. The mirror window might help with that one, but primarily the push that G2 have executed on hasn't arrived from blue, so that mirror window might not be all impactful as they might think. The Fenrir, the F-Map placed down below that main hatch drop. If they remain active, like previously, they haven't been active when that execution arrived. If they're left active, that can be what gets the round victory for M80.
And again, the last time that G2 executed here, you said it, the F-Nats were not there. There was no fear mines to stop them. They were able to use Ying. This time around, they've taken Thermite, and they've actually gone for triple hard breach whip. But you've got Ace, you've got Gemini, and you've got Virtue. So everything is getting opened. It's as simple as that. Everything is going to be opened. That's the plan for G2. And remember I said that you expect to see players play on roles that they wouldn't necessarily on other teams? Benja's playing on Ace.
Yeah, I mean, touched on it last time they were attacking CC, for example. I mean, Benja, you'd normally imagine Benja would be your frontline operator. You may as well in this position say, right, we can breach everything. Grab the hard breach with the best gun. So that's going to be Ace. The AK-12, so good in these positions. So Got yourselves and move on. And I mentioned that G2 haven't really dabbled with an execution focused towards that blue. Well, Doki's dabbling early on that side of the map, and that mirror window might be a problem. Once he walks down those stairs, he'll likely drone that out at this stage and begin to figure out where that threat is. Benji uses those breaching charges to work through that verticality and get some lines of sight cracked for G2.
Now that could have been great with that door being closed if they had have had a C4 by the door, and the minute you hear it being punched, then you go and pop the C4, but that's not what happened. So now the hatch into blue has been opened, the hatch in towards site is going to be opened, and eventually I'm assuming the moto hatch will be open too. So that's 3 drop spots that are available. They're also going to open up dirt at some point to give a little bit of pressure from that side of the map. And you know what that does? It opens up the menu. It means they can choose whatever execute they want to do. So for M80, what you got to do is don't get panicked, don't get pressurized, and make sure that you win your ones whenever they come through. Impact trick will be attempted, but it doesn't quite work. But that's another wall open. And what that does with it is, again, it means that they've got another opportunity to push through site. And it looks like they're going to start getting ready for some hatch drops.
A great drone gives them that information, but that mirror window is such a problem. They know Spoit's inside of blue at this stage, but you can't do anything about that. So you have to make your execution stick from the main stairs, dirt, and kitchen hatch. Gomez takes a huge amount of damage. Doki with a nade gets an opportunity, finds 2. Spoit shuts him down. Kino and Dirt's in a must-win position, but Gemini's already trying to stick down that case. Called in action is going to be that mirror, but it's too late. No! Gemini shut down by Spoit. Gets the job done, and M80 have a lifeline. Spoit finds 3 in the round, and Benjamaster left to try and retake this with Virtue on his side. They drop in now. They have to rely on the impact of the rifles. You can't stick it without solid cover, and Spoit needs to play the time, and that's exactly what he'll do. Virtue tries to stick it, 5 seconds remaining, and it's all down to Benji to land this cover. The battle for who will be king of the north, but doesn't matter. Diaz finds Virtue, and M80 get themselves 1 round back.
Much better again. 2 back-to-back for M80, and this is starting to look a lot better. If they manage to win this 3rd round of defense on a row and take a 3-3 half, I will go as far as saying that is M80 in the driving seat for this match then. I still think that if G2 can win this one, they'll be in a really good position going through. Again, for the viewers at home, do not worry, whichever team does lose this game is not going home. There's still a second life. So if you're a G2 fan, if you're an M80 fan, if you lose, you've still got the lower bracket. You've still got a chance to go the whole way. But do you see what Iconic's rocking?
What's Iconic rocking? Of course, it's the Clash. Oh my. So, a bit of a wild card. Not the most common operator, but are you surprised that it's Iconic on the Clash?
Not at all. He's Batman.
10 seconds left.
Exactly. Who do you call upon when you need it the most? It's Batman. Iconic on the Clash, and it's... You know what? Again, you could have partnered with a Fenrir to really slow it down. The question to me is where they're going to position that Clash. It's very far away from his site, very alone. That's dangerous, as an isolated and alone Clash can be very vulnerable.
Well, this is the thing, if Clash works in tandem with someone else, or if Iconic can just delay loads of time, this is exactly what his job is to do, waste a lot of time. Now they're going to use the Flores drone to get rid of the soft breach open. Gemini will spot out the fact that there's a Clash playing up there as well, but Iconic does have Spoit for some cover. They're going to get rid of the drone, and they're going to lock down this side of the map. But again, G2 putting a lot of pressure on early, and this is being enabled by the fact that, again, there is no Kaid, there is no Bandit.
You can walk in. I mean, the thing about these bans is it's a very attacking, favoring side. So the fact that M80 are going to be able to tempt the idea of getting themselves levels absolutely huge. And you got to feel, they have the confidence to bring up that Bandit man, knowing it left base and everything exposed. A hard breach charge, death. And that's going to be that cache single wall open, so a long angle deep towards gym windows being established. G2 have all the control over towards cache now. Set up your drones, set up your flank watch, begin to move towards that key step with Jacuzzi walls next up.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
So Benja will play around the windows now, seeing if he can spot somebody from M80 to give them that pick. Gemini now will open up that breach fully as well, and that allows them to maybe push in and execute some form of a plan. This nade will be tossed in towards the bathroom. That's why Kino was playing Wamai. You can hold this position and the utility will not move you. Diaz is able to play the Mira in logistics as well. I'm surprised that G2 haven't put any pressure on that Logi hatch just yet, because you're allowing those players in Logi to play as freely as they want to. But time is slowly but surely creeping down. A minute still to play, and it's still a 5 versus 5. And Clash now has shut down the breach.
With time draining away and a clash to deal with, you feel it might be a problem for G2. But a trade happens, and you got to remember, Iconic doesn't have a primary weapon, has that shield in his face. So one firearm advantage for the side of G2 to trade with Doki. Gomez, perfect timing, near pinpoint precision for both these players. A vault in from Benja, and he's going to try and get aggressive. He needs to be the answer, and he's going to be inside a bathroom, finding one, and this might crack Amity wide open. The clash will be a problem, but will Iconic stay alive? He'll stun, he'll tase, he'll play, he'll annoy, he'll irritate every single member of G2, giving his teammate time to react and rotate. 15 seconds to try and stick this out, and Sledge needs to win this fight. A drop shot from Spoix enough to wrap the round up, and now in a 1 versus 2 against Iconic on the clash, nothing Virtue can do. M80 set to bring us level, and that is a done deal on that one. 3-3 split here on Clubhouse. We go level at the end of the half once again between these two teams.
Iconic won the round with the clash place. It's as simple as that. You look at when he was in that 2v1, essentially, because Spoit was not peeking, he was reloading, he was hiding. His movement was so good that he kept his back to hard cover. You forced him to try chase. They decided to completely ignore Iconic, and he was just able to call, right, Spoit, they're going to push you in 3, 2, 1, and Spoit was able to get the kill. Really good job by Iconic in that round, and it is so good by him. And we have the 3-3 half. And all I'm going to say is this is 100% game on. I would say there's a little bit more pressure on G2 now, again, because of the bans that have been done. But M80, this is as good a chance as you're going to get to win a best of 3 against G2 here. And I'm loving it. I'm all for it. I love both these teams. I'm not going to lie.
So do I. It's so hard. I predicted G2, and that's, you know, my EU base. I couldn't support NA even if they've got Spoit over there to represent us over in North America. But G2, they were 3-0 up in this stage. They're back to level. That's 3 rounds. Amity have won. Back to back to back. While G2's executions were clean during that spell of domination, Amity swapped it up, began to present unorthodox and difficult problems that they couldn't get around. Will G2 be able to do the same, or will Amity have that clinical killer instinct that they need to be able to shut down G2? Yes, the bans enable you to get through basically every wall, every reinforcement. Nothing is safe, but can they make the most of that opportunity?
So, first round on attack for M80. You look at the way that G2 are playing, they've extended out quite a bit. Benja is going to get really aggressive by this window. And then he waits, he hears the audio cue that allows him to step up and peek the breach once more. It's clever from Benja, it's brave from Benja, but again, I think it's a pretty good way to play. Now with that window being opened, he can't play that position anymore. And the issue is stock doors open too. So Benja has a couple options, shift W or retreat back to site. He's retreating back to site. That's complete vertical control established now by M80, but now they got to go to work. And look at this, Doki's rotating back as well. So it looks like 1 minute and 10 was the timer that G2 wanted to play.
I think an actually on a good one as well. You get everyone back on site. You can play the benefits of the basement site, so it's very good at bunkering up. You can lock it down, and you've wasted time on that roam presence. Fall back, don't take casualties. You've not wasted too much utility. Good choice from G2. But now, M80, you've got the initiative. You need to begin to work through the map and open up every angle you want. And they're still not sure if the site or upstairs itself is clear. We saw Gomez there checking every angle, making sure he was safe. Better safe than sorry, but still they're not 100%. They weren't certain. As Spoit begins to creep down main stairs to look to cause an impact, Gemini Replicator sent out to gather an extra bit of information, but Doki just says, nah, no information for you.
Yeah, so Doki is able to just play around that breach now as well. The hatch will be opened, and you know, the issue with Ace is the fact that you got to use 2 of them to get it opened, but they get the job done. Now, you got to get Thermite to open up the other hatch, and again, you're opening up the menu. This is the same phrase that I used last time. If Spoit can now creep down blue and find a pick that could blow open this G2 defense, but again, he's being patient with it because Alamau's got the mirror window. They're going to know that there's angles being held. But 30 seconds, this is the point where M80 have to become the aggressors now. They got to press the issue and get one of these picks to give themselves an entryway to sight.
Well, Spoit finds that opening. Gemini's the first to fall for the side of G2, and here comes the flood on the side. But Doki will fire one to Gomez. Looks for a second, and he's good for it. Third, not so much, but Iconic sends it deep to sight. 10 seconds, they need to get this case down. And well, that's exactly what they'll do. Diaz halfway through the procedure, but Iconic split between two. Finds one more, looks for a 4K to wrap up the round. Benja, the answer, alone, and gets one more to Diaz. Batman, what do you have? It's the answer, a 4K, and M80 find the round.
Well, as you said, they call Benja the answer, but the bat signal was put up in the sky a couple of rounds ago, and Iconic has come in hard since then, and he has been playing so well this last few rounds. M80 are taking the lead, and again, it's the aggression. That's the Dave. That is the Iconic that we saw in Charlotte last year, and that is what M80 wanted when they picked him up in this roster. This is huge for M80. They've got the advantage, but still, job's not done. 4-3, G2 have a massive opportunity to pull this round back on the fence. But again, look at the site they're going to. CCTV cash, and a little bit of a throwback now as Gemini is going to put the mirror onto that main breach. And again, what do you do when that's happening? Well, it means that you got to force the attackers to get right up and close with it. If they don't bring an ace, they're going to have to melee it to stop you from line of sight. At that point, G2 will open up the mirror and make it a little bit difficult to get that breach open. And it also a bit enables the impact trick, which if you look at G2, they've got 6 impacts.
Attackers are moving out to locate a
But
bomb.
will they use all 6 for that hack? It's a massive commitment to do so. You seeing that as well?
If you want to, though, Whip it, you got to hold garage.
You're right. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to formulate in my head. I actually took a note there. Do you know what my note was?
G2 and M80 good.
No, my notebook became basically an Iconic fan post because it was that good of a play, that 4K, being able to charge in the site. The impact trick will be good, though, at this position. They have a lot of resources close by. Doki will be the first one up. We want to try and hold on to it. Again, the vulnerability of how weak this site is, or how weak this entire setup is, because right use. Impact goes out, and it's going to destroy an impact, or destroy a whole thermite charge. Very well done.
And again, this is what we spoke about. Doki able to play in garage because there's no pressure, and you're wasting so much utility. They're trying to pre-fire, and that's big now as they get that kill. And now the breach is going to be opened. Alamau went for the instant peek to try to get somebody in the open, but it ain't going to happen. Opening pick goes in favor of M80. Now you focus on getting the bottom of garage open. Now the big thing is Kino playing on Capital has those can openers. He'll be able to open up the right side. If he wants, he can open the left as well. And at that point, you can then get rid of the cam and put some real pressure on. Honestly, Kino is the perfect operator with the defensive lineup that's been brought to clear garage, and there's Diaz getting another kill. Benja now forced to try to make something happen as he steps inside a garage, but M80 are starting to put their foot on the pedal, and I am loving it.
This is where you gotta feel every single player from G2 needs to stand on their independence. Benja has to hold on. Gemini will find one on the spot. Benja has no idea where that threat's arriving from. A good trade, though. Alamau finds one to Kino. And no one's on that main breach right now, so G2 have a little no correction. Diaz repel of Gomez. Direct push and Alamau. I think the wise choice now is to play the time. Don't overextend. Don't give this away. One pick in favor of G2, and the round could be won. A stim pistol applied to Gemini to give him that extra freedom. He can take a few extra shots in this fight. 40 seconds. What can they do? Iconic still on the board. The man who found a 4K the last round out to win the round. And well, Alamau sees one player ascending the stairs, but not enough to find the down or the kill towards Diaz, giving them control of rafters and splitting the site. But Alamau has a second bite of the cherry. Lost across and not quick enough on the draw. A rotate wide, but look towards the breaches. Diaz is there for a freebie. Gemini, the latest addition to the roster, alone against 3, and Iconic ascends red stairs to take a round from G2.
And again, he had that fraction of a second to get that kill on the cross, but I think he just didn't concentrate. He took his finger off the trigger for just a second, and the cross came through. And well, look at this now. 2 rounds in attack in a row for M80, 5 in a row overall as momentum seriously swings their way. And well, it ain't looking good for the G2 fans, of which I know there are plenty watching right now. M80, if they can win this church defense, or this church attack, they move to not only match point, but series point as well. G2 desperately need to stop this momentum here and now.
That's easier. Much, much easier said than done, Gibby. M80. 5 rounds in a row. That's insane. The momentum they're carrying is brilliant. They are growing in confidence every single time. Every single gunfight that goes their favor, they're loving it even more.
5 seconds to go.
I'm loving it too, and I know the fans are as well, because this has been a fantastic game so far. 5-3 M80 on map 3. They're on attack. Reminder, look at the bans if you're just joining us. No breach denial being brought whatsoever. Then you question, is impact tricking a thing? Well, Doki has 2 that he can use, but you look at the side of M80. You've got the 2 can openers. You've got Thermite as well. Buck electing to go for the stuns again, but they're going to get hatches open. There's no way you can stop them from getting them all down unless you get kills. So, G2, what's the plan? Last time they rotated back to site with a minute gone. What are they going to do this time? Well, looks like it's a full turtle from the start.
Unsure if that's a wise decision, but again, they showed their hand once, that they were able to roam and they had that pro pressure. So that might play in the mind of M80 that, okay, they've done it last time, perhaps we need to be a little bit cautious and drone it all out. But it looks like a very concise, clear movements. M80 very confident they have a majority control of the map and they'll move accordingly. So they'll be able to open it up, and with all the time in the world, meaning they can open up everything for reasonably, well, actually everything is for free. That puts G2 under a lot of pressure, but Alamau, look how aggressive on the main stairs. Thinking about ascending it, it might put some pressure on Gomez. Oh, that's pure perfect timing. Alamau detonates that C4, finds Gomez, and the opening pick goes for G2.
Great bounce back from that last round as well from Alamau. That's a good pick to come through. Stun grenades being thrown. The benefit of having 3 of them on those operators helps. And now Spike will start dumping his nades down there as well, but nobody is positioned by AKs to run away. You look at G2's position again. Benja's watching blue. Gemini is helping both players inside of church. If pressure comes down blue, he'll support Benja, and if pressure comes down the main stairs, he'll give Doki a hand as well. There's the other breach open now as well, giving M80 all of those options, but we're getting close to go time. 1 minute gone on the clock. M80 are a man down, but they've still got most of the things they need to get done already.
And this push from blue could be the difference maker. The barbed wire will give away Sport's intentions. And if G2 just stay reserved, stay passive and don't peek, they can coast this round out, force a desperate execution towards that hatch. Iconic goes towards the main stairs. Kino sets himself up and ready, but doesn't matter. Doki swings wide and finds the opening. Batman's been slain now down the spot to find something inside of blue, but G2, they're too wise to it. They won't peek, meaning his teammate has to go all the way, drop oil pit to help support him on this pinch as Kino gets ready to solo drop that hatch.
White needs to do something now. He sprints across, but he's going to get taken down. Diaz makes it at 4 versus 2, though. Doki gets another one, and that's the G2 stop the momentum, and they pull their first round on defense. 5-4 the scoreline now, as it continues to be a close and drawn-out affair. And I think looking at that G2 lineup right now, locked in is the word to use. M80, though, they've still got the advantage. They're winning this. They're on attack. Something has got to give, though. This is a big round in this match that's coming up right now.
The streak has been broken. M80 went 5 rounds congruently, victory after victory, and G2 have weathered the storm, survived the flurry of punches, and now they're back in this one. 1 round down. Can G2 get themselves level in round 10 and bring this to a 5-5 match? Upstairs we go. Gym bedroom, the site of choice, and the mirror has been so prevalent on this map of the clubhouse. Once again, brought out and wielded by Virtue.
This is a big round. I keep saying it. We've got a Frost to whip it. Dare I ask you to do the honors of telling us if there's an M80 member with a Frost written all over them?
As I stare into my crystal ball of predictions, I will see. No member of M80 will walk into a Frost mat this round.
Chat, if a member of M80 steps into a Frost mat, feel free to give Whippet as much abuse as you like in chat. I'm for it.
You're meant to be my Joe. You're meant to big me up, not encourage chat to go against me, Gibby. How dare you?
Nah. I would help if I could.
Don't make me call Spoit to go again. They don't like that.
So, we move into round 10. 5-4 is the scoreline. G2 finally stopped the pressure. They have stopped the bleeding. It's now a position where if they win this defense, they will manage to level the sides up again. Whenever M80 defended the site, they were able to use Clash really well. But looking at what G2 are planning, well, they're going to use Mira and Frost to work in tandem with Doki on the Azami as well. So that means that this wall will be opened for free. And am I the only one that spotted that nobody has played? There we go. Gemini steps in the bathroom once he hears the breach opening. Well, if you push someone really quickly, you can get that wall open, and that's what they do. So now you can't play bathroom anymore.
Why don't you bring a mute in this position? You make sure that bathroom wall stays intact. You have that power position. I'm really questioning why that wasn't brought out. Yes, they had impact EMP. So look at this for free. Kino can just walk in, but Spoit will find Doki. Kino left in DBNO. They need a flurry and cascade and flood sight now. G2 now know, and the warning bells begin to ring. Look, M80, they're in. They're inside a bathroom. They have a funnel. They have a bit of leverage. And can they continue this momentum onward? Minute 25 to work with. And well, they've run into a bit of a situation. They can't go too much further. They know they're in a crossfire. What will be the man sent out to get one and finds it second in the round? Looks for a third. He's going to go deep. Virtue gets one back with a drop shot from Alamau. Brings us level 3 versus 3.
Virtue's HP is low, but Kino's is lower. Gomez working in tandem. Another trade coming through as it's a 2 versus 2 now. But Virtue is low. M80 have the benefit of more HP. And Gomez now will go for the plant. Stun grenades will prevent any push. There's a peek though from Benja. He comes around and makes it a 2 versus 1. And Benja gets another one. G2 level the sides. And now the pressure is on M80 as Benja plays them into that round.
Oh, G2, bring it level. Get it done. The momentum, the 5-round flurry is all but dead now. And now it's simply a shootout. Round 10 goes level 5-5. Next round victory, map point match, series point deployed. And you can feel both teams feeling the pressure now. They want that upper bracket advantage to continue as long as possible. Remember, an upper or the double elimination bracket in play today. Inside the group stages here at Gamers8. You win, you stay, you keep that lifeline. But you lose, you play in an elimination match tonight. Your journey can end today. On the same it starts, it can be over. No team wants to take that risk.
If I were to say that I think M80 are trying too hard on that attack, would I be wrong? You know, sometimes you can try too hard and it's more of a problem than if they had just relaxed and, you know, took their time, didn't try to press the issue as much. I think by all those individual players trying too hard to get the kill, the impact, it played into the D2 defense.
Okay, I can see what you're cooking there. I'm a big fan of how aggressive they took that control. They see that they're able to walk inside a bathroom and they took that very concisely. But I don't think they had too much of a contingency after that point.
Well, there's the breach opened early as you like from Spoit, and no impact trick coming this time, even though they did bring the mirror with the intentions to do so. So now that mirror will be popped, and that'll make it a little bit difficult to get that full breach open now. You got to get that ace, that Selma charge thrown on point. Virtue playing inside garage, and Alamo's playing really aggressively by that server stack. And again, he can do this as long as they control that little balcony, that overhang that looks at the windows in towards bedroom. And that's what Gemini's job is to do. Keep that area of the map secured. I like what G2 are doing, but I would like to see M80 now try to make some of these players a little bit more uncomfortable.
Yeah, they need to start moving G2 around, and I mean, Kino's going to be a great asset for that. Likely the intentions to use that on rafters with the Omai in play. That's going to be a little bit more difficult, of course. The interaction, the magnets do track the darts of the crossbow sent out by Kino's Capital. That's one thing they have to worry about. Sport below and Adam just trying to probe and look for something. But G2, I have a feeling will deploy a very patient strategy. They don't want to overextend. They don't want to give away a freebie. They know they've made a mess of that breach. They don't have to worry about that too much and don't contest it. Alamau, though, the opening pick, and that's all away from Adam Window. A huge opening, a huge shot, and we lose Gomez.
Gomez down, G2 starting to build it up. Alamau is going to get traded back by Spoit though, and had he got back into cover, he would have got his HP back up to 100, but Kino now needs to deal with Virtue. Using those bolts, those fire bolts, to no avail, but they eventually spread, but they only tickle Virtue, but he is eventually going to get shot down. Kino gets the kill. Spoit's going to get one on the Doki as well. He gets another one on to Gemini, leaving it all down to Benja, and there's Spoit rounding out the round. M80 take it, they take another one and whip it. This is honestly, this has been a banging series to open up the Bravo stream, and not only that, I think this has been the best map we've seen so far as well.
I think so, absolutely. We have just seen a fantastic round from M80, a difficult one where they had to solve a lot of problems. They were faced with taking the opening casualty as well, and they bounced back to it at 4K thanks to Spoit. Now, you know what this means, Gibby, after that round? That not only means, well, actually, that means one thing plain and simple. They are on series point. That's all they need to do. They need to win one more round here on Clubhouse. One more, and they send G2 to the lower bracket.
Well, that's it. We're guaranteed every single round in regulation. This is it. Either we go to overtime or M80 go on to take on the winners of the earlier matchup, which I'm sure all of you know by now. But I see some people don't want spoilers, so I'm not going to say anything in chat. But it is easy to find out if you want to. But I really want an overtime on this one. I love the spectacle. This is what we wanted to see whenever Gamers8, the teams that were announced, when we saw who qualified. The best teams in the world going head to head. These are just 2 of the 8 fantastic teams that are taking part in this tournament. And as we said, game 1, map 3 and overtime is looming over us if G2 can win their Church Arsenal defense.
All of regulation needed, Gibby, to separate these teams on the final map series. This is what you love to see. This is Peak Siege. 2 giants from their respective regions slugging it out. What a matchup it's been. Who will find the opening, and that might be all the crucial engagement. That very first fight might decide how this goes, but G2 looks like once again they decided to bunker up, and I'm not ignoring the top right of my screen. Iconic on the blitz. A huge high impact shock and awe operator available. Are G2 ready? Will they be ready? Can they react when the time comes, when Iconic sends it deep to sight?
And this is the thing. The last thing G2 expect on this match point defense is Iconic to bring the blitz. And as you said, for them now it's about staying unnoticed, right? The longer that they can keep this round going without G2 knowing that there's a blitz in play, the better that is going to be for the side of M80. Now you look at the operators they took again. They're going to use Ace and they're going to use Kino on the Ying to open up the hatches. But you've got Candelas, you've got 3 stones, you've got the Blitz stones, and you've got the Habana flashes. They are going to blind G2 and stun them and give themselves as many free kills as they can get. Whatever they decide, it is time to execute.
Virtue is the key for G2 right now. They cannot lose the Warden. The immunity to those flashes, to those stuns is critical, and they begin to work away, clearing that Kiba that helps protect him. 60 seconds remain, Gibby, and can G2 hold their nerve, or will M80 go a little bit too soon? You've got to remember, they need every part of that puzzle to be ready for them to make this execution work.
Well, 50 seconds left in this one. That's the max we're going to get. If we get a late plant, we may get a couple more, but we're either going to overtime or this game is done. Kino is going to drop. He gets the kill. Actually, he baited the drop. Not the kill on the Doki. Iconic comes down dirt, and he gets Virtue as the blitz does come through. Alamau now getting stunned. Tries to prevent the drop, but he doesn't. Here comes Iconic on the blitz, but Gemini's going to trip him back. It's a 5v1 now, and Spike rounds it out. M80 will progress in the upper bracket. G2 drop to the lower bracket. What a performance in that final round. And Iconic was cooking. M80 were cooking. And G2 couldn't handle the heat in the kitchen.
Oh, the world champions pushed to the limit and broken on Clubhouse. A 2-1 victory for North America here. And they get the job done. What a series we have just